Now you have this Congresswoman Crockett who is calling for attacks on Elon Musk on her birthday. Let's take him out on my birthday, she says. And yet she turns and says, oh, I'm not calling for violence. Well, she is an elected public official, and so she needs to tread very carefully.
So I'm actually going to say that I participated in a Tesla takedown. That is the name of the website. And it was all about this large protest that they're calling for, and this is a nonviolent protest. One of the things that I told people to do is make sure you are adhering to the laws in your area. Make sure you know what it looks like to protest and to be able to raise your voices and to exercise your constitutional right to free speech. And what we see is that they want to dull our free speech rights. I just want to say that I have never promoted violence whatsoever, yet I've also never made excuse for those violent actors, such as the ones on January 6th. So Pam Bondi, if you have an issue with terrorism, maybe you should talk to your boss about locking back up those guys that he let out that participated in January 6th.
Jasmine Felicia Crockett, born March 29, 1981, is an American lawyer and politician who has been a U.S. representative from Texas's 30th Congressional District since January 2023. She is a member of the Democratic Party in a district covering most of South Dallas County, Central Dallas, Dallas Love Field Airport, and a small portion of Tarrant County. In Congress, during the 118th session, Crockett acted as a go-between, representing the group of about 35 newly elected Democratic members to the House Democratic leadership. She also got the nod as co-chair for the 2024 Harris Walz campaign. Crockett is part of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. Before heading to Congress, Crockett represented the 100th district in the Texas House of Representatives. Before that position, she worked as a public defender for Bowie County, Texas, and before that, she was practicing law at a private firm. She has a good bit of Texas political experience, and she seems well-positioned to do good things for the state.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Fuck off.
That's it.
Hello, everyone. It seems Ms. Crockett has gotten the Republicans in an uproar after Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett from Texas said she wanted Elon Musk to be taken down. Attorney General Pam Bondi told her to watch her step on Sunday. Bondi said on Fox's Sunday Morning Futures that Crockett is a public official and needs to be careful. She added that nothing will happen to Musk and they'll fight to protect Tesla owners across the country. This warning came after Crockett spoke at a virtual rally for the Tesla takedown movement. This group is against Musk's Department of Government Efficiency's attempts to cut through the federal bureaucracy by using boycotts and protests at Tesla sites. The group plans to hold 500 protests on March 29th at Tesla locations nationwide. Crockett said at the rally that she wants Musk to be taken down for her birthday on March 29th. She also said that serving on the Doge Oversight Committee taught her that the only thing those in charge understand is money. Now, let's stay here for a minute. Everything done so far has been in haste and at the detriment of the American people. It surely seems there is a plan in place. It's just that Elon will not let anyone know what it is. He doesn't want to talk to Congress or the people of America about these plans. Many people are scared and hurting behind his decisions. I never thought I would see an America where congressmen are looking like Stepford wives, and even the most racist groups are okay with a non-American basically running the country. I saw some reports, which must have came from the AG, where they tried to report she said, "Take him out," which is false and has a very different meaning. Crockett made it clear that her call to action was nonviolent, but we all know that. We heard her. Because of Musk's involvement with the Trump administration, Tesla locations have seen many protests and some vandalism recently. Bondi's warning also follows her announcement that the Department of Justice is charging 3 people with vandalizing Tesla cars and property, calling it domestic terrorism. Before calling out Crockett, Bondi repeated that she's determined to stop the protests. She said they aren't dropping the charges and are looking into everything, especially if it's a coordinated effort. Let's watch some more clips of Representative Crockett telling it like it is. She doesn't hold back and
tired of the white tears. Listen, if you are competent, You are not concerned. When I walk into Congress every single day, you know why I don't feel a way and why you can't make me doubt who I am? Is because I know that I had to work 10 times as hard as they did just to get into the seat. When you look and you compare me to Marjorie Taylor Greene or me to Lauren Boebert, there is no comparison. And that is the life that we have always lived. So the only people that are crying are the mediocre white boys that have been beaten out by people that historically have had to work so much harder. This is why they don't want us to have education. This is why they are trying to literally say we won't fund the HBCUs, because they know that if they've already gone after affirmative action and they're saying, you know what, don't allow them to come into, say, these PWIs, as we call them, don't allow them to come into these institutions. We know why they created the HBCUs in the first place. It was because they wouldn't allow us into the white institutions. And so now they're not allowing us in. And now they're saying, you know what, we're also going to defund the HBCUs. You know why? Because they don't want any more Kamala Harrises. They don't want any more Jasmine Crockett's. But I got news for them. I don't care what they do. We will fight to the end to make sure that we get our due. Because again, if you want to talk about the people that shouldn't be in this country, you probably need to look in the mirror, because the last time I checked, the Native Americans who Summer ICE have been rounding up, or the Puerto Ricans who are absolutely Americans, listen, the only people that came and colonized this place are your ancestors, Trump.
So the Republican Party has decided, in their infinite wisdom, to essentially try and make Jasmine Crockett the face of violence against Elon Musk. Yes, because she said on her birthday that all she wants as a gift is to see people take down Elon Musk. They are basically now going to make her the face of all these protests. I hope y'all didn't think the Muskrat wasn't going to go on the offensive, all right? They needed to find a reason. I kept saying they needed to find a boogeyman for all of these protests. And oh man, wouldn't you believe it? Man, he picks the one African-American congressperson that has spoken out against everything that's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, for one, don't take the bait, all right? This nonsense is not going to go anywhere, okay? Who really believes that second-year Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is the organizer of all of these violent actions against Tesla? Who really believes that? Am I supposed to believe she's responsible for them vandalizing stores in France and Germany? Am I supposed to believe that a Texas congresswoman has been organizing all of that? And look, we know a good portion of MAGA is uneducated, but as far as an investigation, that will go nowhere. These are all clear signs to me that they are very scared about what's going on, and they're scared about voices reaching the American people. Jasmine Crockett is without a doubt one of those voices. So just like AOC, anybody they believe is a true threat to their agenda, they will try to weaponize the Justice Department. But guess what? You got no evidence, all right? You have no motive. All you have are the hurt feelings of a billionaire. It'd be nice if these people start actually worrying about the price of your groceries instead of the price of his stock.
Out here. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. I'll go outside, but it's cold, so let me know if you can hear me. Okay, I guess y'all can. All right, perfect. So, excuse me, I'm tired and we're on this retreat, so I'm not trying to necessarily look my best. But I wanted to update y'all and I wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for everyone that reached out, called senators, and asked them to hold the line. So, as of yesterday, the Senate did not cave. Instead, Senator Schumer went on the floor, and Senator Schumer made it clear that they did not have the votes. And so that is because of you. I promise you, if this could have just kind of flew under the radar, I absolutely believe that it would have flown under the radar. But here's the thing. I don't know why they're being so loud and rowdy. But here's the thing. We survived a day. We still got another day that we need to survive. So I need to make sure that y'all understand, because I know that there are messages that are going up right now where Democrats are saying we will come back, we will vote for a clean CR. And it's like, well, wait a minute, y'all said that y'all weren't going to vote for the CR. So I just want to make sure that I'm making this very plain. The current continuing resolution, which we're saying the same kind of phrase of CR, but they are not the same. They are not equal, okay? What the Republicans passed out of the House, I just want to make it clear. There are people that are going to be put out in the streets. Like, they did not fully fund the current housing vouchers that we have in that proposal. In addition to that, any of you that are concerned about science, I know the Republicans don't care about science, which is why we have to make sure we make these phone calls. But when it comes down to something like NIH, which is responsible for all of our research and our trials on cancer, on diabetes, all that kind of stuff, right? So what they're doing is they're cutting hundreds of millions of dollars from that funding. But here's the crazy part. When we go through and we do appropriations the way that they're supposed to be done, there's specific line items. They say, okay, it's going to be X amount of dollars for child cancer, X amount of dollars for, brain cancer, X amount of dollars for kidney disease, X amount, like it lays it out how to spend it. When we do a continuing resolution, because it is not supposed to literally be the solution, it is just to get us over, then what happens is they are literally giving Donald Trump and Elon Musk a blank check to do whatever they want to. So for instance, right now I just saw a report earlier today or yesterday about Delta Airlines talking about the fact that they are struggling, or they're anticipating that the struggle is about to be real. Probably for a couple of reasons, but one of them they said was consumer confidence in air travel. We are seeing, I know y'all saw what Southwest just did. So right now we see a tightening of everything because people are losing confidence in air travel. They also are losing confidence that we're not going into a recession, if not a depression. And so they are holding on to their money. So what this does is says, we're not specifying how the money has to be spent within the FAA. And therefore, if Elon just wants to say pocket the $4 billion that's been set aside and say, you know what, there's no competition for these contracts, I'm just going to give myself all the money, we going to Starlink this up, and we know what happens with him and his little projects, especially when it comes to air travel. We don't want none of that to happen, right? So it's really important that y'all understand that while we may be using the same phrase, it's not the same. We are agreeable to leaving funding levels at what they are currently set at, okay, which was approved in December, and just doing it for a month. If we do it for a month, here's Rosa. Rosa's right here. Come on, Rosa. Listen, this is the queen herself, y'all. This is the person that should be chairing our appropriations committee, but she's the one that teaches me everything that I know. Even when I first got here as a freshman, Rosa was the one that told us, make sure you get them big fake checks so that your district knows that you're bringing money home. And I absolutely did it.
Amen.
So what I was explaining is about the FAA and how, like, if literally they go through with the funding deal that they're trying to go through, the one that passed out of the House, that it's a blank check for Elon.
Elon Musk. It is all about public safety and his cars and so forth. That they will not be able to investigate any of the difficulties that arise.
Yes. So we don't want to do that. But we are okay with just 30 days so that the pain is not felt across the board with shutting it down, because we already know that people are feeling the pain. And here's the deal. They have had a long time to do their jobs. So what we really need to have trending on social media for Republicans is do your job. They claim that they had a mandate, right? But what we do when we do our funding bills is they last for a year. It's only September to September. Y'all, September was like 6 months ago. They are like 6 months behind already. And now they're saying, never mind, we don't even want to do the work for this year. Instead, we don't want to do the line items because we're afraid that that's going to tick off the king and his prince, whichever one is which, right? Like, that's what they are trying to do. They are being lazy and they are giving over their constitutional duties. Right now, what we need is to make sure that we are not inflicting pain on people. Yes, I know I said shut it down. I know I did. But listen, the Senate, they have come up with an option, and it's an option that Rosa was working on. Rosa, just so y'all know, we are never reckless. We are always looking out for all of Americans, whether they're Democrats, Republicans, or independents. Because when this money gets spent, we don't say, oh, just give it to the Democrats or just give it to the Republicans. When we do these line items, we are forced to come together and work in a bipartisan way. And so the Senate is saying right now, what we will do is keep everything at the levels that they are so that we can minimize the harm and the disruption to people's lives and keep the government open and give y'all another 30 days to do y'all's job. So we need to tell the Republicans, do your job. Come to the table, sit down, go through your 12 appropriations bills, and do your job. Don't sit here and say, well, we're just going to flake on our jobs and go ahead and let Elon and Donald do what they want. Y'all see how they messing up stuff? We know right now that when we look at things such as the stock market is failing. We know that the cost of groceries are way through the roof. We know that people are losing their jobs. I don't know what's great about this version of America, but I absolutely disagree with it. So we love you, Rosa.
Love you, Maeve.
For all that you do.
Thank you.
Y'all make sure you keep the pressure on. So hashtag Republicans, GOP, do your job. And then make sure that y'all go ahead and have those phone calls. And just know, no matter when they call us back, if they call us back today, if they call us back tomorrow, if they call us back next week, to make sure that we can pass a responsible continuing resolution, we in the House, Democrats, we will show up to do that.
Pam Bondi just warned Jasmine Crockett, telling her to tread carefully in all of her attacks towards Elon Musk. Now, Jasmine Crockett has never made a violent retort against Elon Musk. However, she has said that she has wanted Elon Musk to be taken down. And Pam Bondi is stating to tread very carefully and that she is going to do everything that she can to protect Elon Musk and that nothing's going to happen to him. And she will also do her best to protect all Tesla owners. Now, this is happening just a few hours after the Trump administration said in a memo licensed to Pam Bondi to limit lawsuits happening against the Trump administration and to punish law firms and possibly even enforce sanctions upon the law firms that would try to come against the administration. And in case you're like, what's a sanction again? A sanction is just any sort of legal penalty. So they would just be penalizing any sort of law firm for coming against the administration.
I don't know about you, but I can't get enough of this woman. She is fearless and doing what we need all the Dems to do at this very critical time. We're not going to have the conversation about how important it is to bring in fresh ideas to the party by having an age cap on Congress. That's another conversation for later, but if you happen to wonder why, look at the newer elected Dems and you will see the energy.
We know that Marjorie, even on that day, never got in trouble, but the rules say that no one can wear a hat. So to give them the power to pretend as if they are holding up decorum and let them then take one of ours down because he decided to stand up not just for his constituents, but the vast majority of theirs. So how dare you? How dare you after he was telling the truth? Trump got up saying, I got a mandate.
The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades.
And Al said you didn't have a mandate to take people's health care. That is not what he ran on. Please show me the clips of him saying, I'm going to take your Medicaid. They aren't existent, okay? So you ran and you lied, and I knew you were a liar, and everybody else who had some good sense knew you were lying. You said you knew nothing about Project 2025.
I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there. I haven't read it. I don't want to read it purposely. I'm not going to read it.
This is all out of Project 2025. He a liar, liar, liar.
Right away. No trial, no nothing. Right to jail. Right to jail. Right away. Believe it or not, jail. Right away. Jail. You right to jail. Believe it or not, jail.